And for those of you that say, well, it really doesn't impact me, I don't care if Trump goes to prison. Well, first of all, you absolutely should care. Because if we lose, they're going to come after the churches, they're going to come after the organizations, they're going to come after the people, they're going to come after the social media accounts, they're going to come after the bank accounts, they're going to come after every single person that played any form and role into trying to defend President Trump. Social media banning, following in the streets, targeting in every form and fashion. If we lose, if the president loses, they will come for us all. They will come for your children, they will come for your schools, they will come in every fashion. And they won't stop. They are going to do whatever it takes to try to personally and intergenerationally destroy Donald Trump. That's how much they hate him. They hate him not because of his tweets, not because of his style. They hate him because all of their schemes have been put in jeopardy. They're going to come with bloodthirsty revenge. President Trump always says, quote,
if you love birds, you never want to walk under a windmill because it's a very sad sight.
We are intrinsically tied to the president. He's with us. He's for us. I've called him the bodyguard of Western civilization, and boy, is he taking the body blows for us right now. But if they come for him, they're coming for us, and they're also coming for me. This is where it's headed. If Donald Trump loses, you can expect every level of power to try to obliterate us for good. This is a very real thing. If we lose in November, it's going to be better. That if they get power back, they're going to lock him up, and they're going to continue until they have absolute pathological power over our country. Please email us your thoughts, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com, freedom@charliekirk.com. Make sure you check out my interview with Candace Owens, author of Blackout, phenomenal episode. Please consider supporting us at charliekirk.com/support, charliekirk.com/support. Please consider supporting us at 2020 USA.
That was intense. But by the way, I'm definitely not laughing at what everybody thinks we're laughing at. We're just laughing at the
animation
silliness of this video.
Yeah. Well. All right. Can we progress to this one?
Absolutely.
Solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so as promised in the last video I recorded, I got a little bit of a follow-up here. Actually, quite the significant follow-up, building on the bombshell report about a trans boyfriend of the Charlie Kirk assassin, Tyler Robinson. Well, the updates are moving fast, and the picture at this point is again becoming undeniable. I know you're seeing leftists all over social media try to scrub this report or claim that it's unverified or incorrect, but the reality is we are building the motive and building very strong connections. Just as we had family members confirming some information about Tyler Robinson and his political views, well, we're now getting the exact same thing about his trans furry boyfriend, the individual known as Lance Twiggs. We're starting to build a very clear picture here. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so we now have confirmation of what we suspected. Tyler Robinson's partner, identified as Lance Twiggs, was in fact living with him at the time of the shooting. That is now confirmed. Again, like I mentioned in the previous video, the left is trying to deny this report, but now confirmed by one of Lance Twiggs' family members. The two were in fact living together. They were apparently renting one of the townhomes as seen on screen for $1,800 a month. And so anybody suggesting that Tyler Robinson was living with his family full-time, well, is simply a liar. And it gets even worse. Take a look at this headline from the Gateway Pundit. Quote, relative spills on Lance Twiggs' relationship with Charlie Kirk assassin. Quote, full of evil and hatred, feared he might hurt someone, raged against Christians and conservatives. So a relative who chose to remain anonymous spoke with a small outlet named Wisconsin Right Now, and they admitted that they were afraid that Twiggs himself, not Tyler, would actually hurt someone. And this was based on things that he would say to his own family. They confirmed that he was not mentally well, he had been transitioning for about 4 years, and that yes, Tyler Robinson was Twiggs' boyfriend. The family member said that they distanced themselves from Twiggs' constant hostility towards, quote, conservative ideals and Christian values. They cut ties completely, calling him unhealthy, angry, and especially at Christians and conservatives. So again, it seems to line up perfectly with exactly what we've been suspecting, and what all the information and evidence is now indicating, that Tyler Robinson was romantically involved with a trans activist who was openly anti-Christian, openly hateful towards conservatives, and considered disturbed and unstable by his own family. And these two were living together at the time of the assassination. And the information dump doesn't just end there. We've got some other layers to this onion. As you can see on screen, this is allegedly Lance Twiggs' Instagram account. The handle is under the name Sir Lancelot, with the bio that reads, "Friendly neighborhood licensed fish finder." We're learning that in trans and drag queen slang, fish is apparently a term that's used to describe somebody who passes well as female, and so obviously that's adding more context. It's insider language from the trans and drag culture. You can also see the avatar, where the individual is clearly presenting as some sort of furry persona, or otherwise known as a fursona. And when you connect all of that with what we already know, well, it starts to make perfect sense, especially on top of another report that we've got here from the New York Post, which is claiming that the Charlie Kirk assassination suspect had a furry fixation, and his trans boyfriend proclaimed support for Biden on social media. An account on the website furaffinity.net, which features sexualized images of cartoon animal characters, features an account name matching one that Robinson used on his various gaming and online accounts, friends told the Daily Mail. The spent cartridges, believed to belong to the murder weapon, was inscribed with the message, "Notices bulges, oh whoa, what's this?" a phrase associated with a popular furry internet meme. Oh wow, so it's basically exactly as we've been describing it. And now remember how the left immediately rushed to say that those engravings were anti-trans? That it was proof that Tyler was secretly right-wing? No, of course not. It was clear since day one that those engravings were tied to some weird online internet culture that likely Twiggs and Tyler were both a part of. Trans, furry, femboy meme communities. It's the exact kind of rhetoric and slang and ideology that fills their world, not the right-wing world. When's the last time you heard a right-winger posting memes about noticing bulges? Holy frickin' crap, but once again, the left's attempt to debunk only exposes how completely out of touch they are with their own frickin' subcultures, or probably more accurately, how utterly dishonest they are. The facts are becoming very clear here, and I'm pretty sure behind the scenes the FBI has a whole lot more information than we do. The governor of Utah recently said this.
You told the Wall Street Journal that it is, quote, very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Can you elaborate on that and be more specific?
Well, sure. So that information comes from the people around him, from his family members and friends.
I just like that his name is Cox, and this is all like sexually tainted, material. It's very interesting.
That's how we got that information.
I mean, for the governor to say that, you know that he's not speaking lightly. He's probably seen the briefings, he's seen the receipts, which means that Robinson's online history, it must be overflowing with exactly what you might assume it will be. Leftist propaganda, extreme rhetoric, anti-Christian and anti-conservative radicalism. I mean, where we are today is we've got this individual, Tyler Robinson, who's an ex-Mormon who recently left the church. He's got online accounts on these furry websites, most likely went down a pipeline of trans porn and other things. He then eventually meets a trans furry.
Yes, the trans porn to violence pipeline. It's a systemic problem that we talked about in intersectionality class for decades, and we're just now learning this.
Go by, he becomes more and more radicalized by left-wing rhetoric. All the people around him seem to be identifying him as a leftist who was in fact becoming more radical in his viewpoints. Then he shoots Charlie Kirk with the bullet casings having anti-fascist messaging on them and trans rhetoric / memes. I mean, that's the picture here, and the craziest part is that the left is looking at that and then says, oh, looks like a MAGA conservative, looks like a groyper. These people are out of their damn minds. I mean, just connect the dots. I think the motive is pretty clear. Charlie Kirk is a known Christian conservative. Tyler Robinson was in a gay relationship with a partner whose own family described him as disturbed, unstable, and full of hatred against Christian conservatives. They were both immersed in trans and furry online subcultures that overlap perfectly with the slogans engraved in those bullet casings. I don't know 100%, but I'd say at this point, again, 99%, they killed Charlie Kirk because he's a Christian conservative, and they are left-wing lunatics. And I'm sitting here asking myself, I mean, how much more evidence do we really need at this point? The family confirms it, the friends are confirming it, the neighbors are confirming it, the governor is confirming it, the FBI is confirming it. There's a pattern recognition, the online presence, the engravings, the radical partner, all of it is pointing in the same direction, and we still can't find a consensus. Well, I think it's obvious that it's not about the evidence, it's not about the truth. The left will never accept it. They will lie, deflect, invent distractions until the end of time. Anything but clearly identify the issue
The left.
that they've created. We are getting front row seats. We are looking straight through the window, looking right at the radicalism and utter dishonesty of the modern left. They will never look inward. They will never take accountability. No matter how much evidence is presented, they will continue to spew misinformation. Just as they do with President Trump, they still state that he called white nationalists very fine people. They're still pushing the very fine people hoax. They still make the claim that Kyle Rittenhouse was a white supremacist mass shooter who shot 3 black people and was part of a right-wing militia. This is the modern left, folks. It's all about violence and control. This is why we can't let them win, because when left-wingers take over, you get the Soviet Union. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in the truth. They believe in control. Do as we say, or else you will face violence. They want to enforce speech and use propaganda as a tool to have their way. You got to understand what we're fighting here, folks. It's an incomprehensible level of evil. People need to wake up because we cannot succumb to this. We cannot submit, because if they get what they want, it will be hell on earth. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll...
Yes, thank you for telling us about the evils of the left, whatever that means.
Oh, this guy. Oh my God, Liberal Highline has 1.66 million subscribers.
Yep.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yep. There we go. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 times a million is 7 million. 1 million more than the 6 million before. So you know what I mean? Come on, right there.
Documented a Nation of Islam event in part led by Malcolm X in Washington, D.C., promoting Black power and liberation. The series is beautiful, including not only photographs of Malcolm X, but also of the crowd. And among these incredible pictures, there's this one. 3 white men stand out in the front row of a crowd of black people, but what makes them stand out isn't only the fact that they're white, but more importantly, the fact that they were Nazis. Both the Nazis and the Nation of Islam believed that black and white people couldn't coexist, though the Nazis believed so because of their belief in white supremacy, while the Nation of Islam believed so because they thought white institutions would never let them fully integrate.
Pause it. Also, they believed that Whitey was created in a laboratory made by like some ball-headed Yaqub guy. So you notice it's like, oh well, Nation of Islam had a good reason, but the mean white people had a bad reason. Hilarious. So
that mythology was like Nation of Islam, what you just said.
yeah, I mean, they believe something like that. Like they think like white people were created in a lab and like some weird like UFO cult stuff or something. I'm pretty sure that's them. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows more than me. But.
Interesting. So then what does it say that Kanye West now like takes on this like personality?
Which is in between the two different ones, right? Like it's like he's a Christian, but he believes. See, this is the thing is like esoteric, you know, Mr. Mustache stuff is actually coming out of the same stuff that these guys come out of. So it's like it's not that different. It's just when we finish this video, I want you to go look at the top comment and just look at the thread for a minute because it's like you'll see it's very interesting. So this is all basically like a video basically just made to say that like Charlie Kirk was a Nazi. Basically, that's what this whole video is about. By the way.
But for very different reasons. But in any case, George Lincoln Rockwell, the man in the middle of this picture, admired the Nation of Islam and particularly its leader, Elijah Muhammad, who he called a Black Hitler. That was meant as a compliment. When I raised the camera to photograph Rockwell and his men, he hissed at me, "I'll make a bar of soap out of you." I hissed back, "As long as it isn't a lampshade," and kept on photographing. I think it's very important to underline Eve Arnold's courage for taking pictures in such events. Perhaps because she was Jewish or white, she finished photographing a Harlem Nation of Islam event with a dozen burn marks on the back of her clothes from men putting out their cigarettes on her. George Lincoln Rockwell founded the American Nazi Party in 1959. He hated communists, Jews, black people, and queer people. He's also the man who coined the expression, white power. In 1964, he was invited to speak at the University of Michigan, and such invitation sparked controversy. It wasn't the first time that he'd speak at other universities and do debates. Many people wondered how responsible it was to invite a Nazi on campus. Some believed that, though Rockwell has the right to his opinion, a university shouldn't give him the legitimacy of an invitation, given how dangerous
He looks very credible. Notice the Muppet hair, the disheveled look.
What the fuck?
He's sitting on the floor of his apartment with a $1,000 microphone. You know, it makes total sense.
He's so grounded.
Namaste, iffy guy.
Oh man, the face reveal ruined any seriousness that this video.
I'll have you know that there's a whole commune of hippies that are taking this guy extremely serious, and they're probably at that event that just happened with Mr. Kirk. Okay, so
I want to know how many subscribers is Mr.
yeah. Go ahead and go out and look at the subscribers and look at the first comment. You'll love it. The comment that he pinned, by the way.
553. The canvas. Miss K subs. Why is Charlie an evil Nazi? Because he said mean things about transmission people, has views that were common amongst everyone literally 30 years ago and still common anywhere but the West. Stop calling center-right people Nazis.
So go ahead and open up that thread and just look at like the first 10 comments. You'll see just above that. See where it says there? It says some amount of
saying that the shooter was a Nazi and so was Charlie Kirk.
No, they're saying that this guy on this video from 1960s or whatever was a Nazi, and that Charlie Kirk was also a Nazi because he went on college campuses and said stuff about.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but open up that thread right there. See the thread? It says 500 replies or whatever. Yeah. So just read the first few here. Let's see.
Might be pinning your comment to answer. Oh my God, we're supposed to read all of that?
No, but just the first paragraph. Kirk was a moderate conservative type comments. Here's a very low effort, copy and pasted examples of his political positions, and then just go down a little bit, and keep going down.
Oh my God!
And then go down. Look, see, he called himself a nationalist. Fascism is a form of ultranationalism. Then go down. Here we go. He was pretty much the last one willing to sit down with them, and now he got killed. Slavery was also legal and commonplace 200 years ago. Does that make it okay to do now? So I'm just showing this is the level of discussion in the YouTube comments, essentially. So did you know that he was a nut? So literally they're saying Charlie Kirk literally wanted to go and fire up the ovens or whatever. I mean, it's
all right. So should we keep watching or what? What's say?
Yeah, let's continue watching. This is a good history lesson for everybody.
Sense they'd be simply ignored. Rockwell himself believed that, or at least used that belief to his advantage. Others answered that Rockwell didn't appeal to reason but to emotion, as fascists do, and that his ideas in the marketplace of ideas endangered the very existence of that marketplace. Despite protests, both before and during the event, the speech was given on October 13th, 1964. For posterity, it was recorded, and I listened to all of it. It's incredibly relevant for today's context, though, as you may imagine from a 1964 Nazi, he didn't have to hide his racism. There's the conspiracies, the critique of how black people are portrayed too nicely in movies, talking about how weak and soft Americans are now, saying that queer people want to outlaw heterosexual sex and that they should be run out of the country, saying that white people are the true victims of hate in America in 1964, and finally, he complains about being punched in another university campus. Anyway, if you're interested in listening to the speech, it's like about an hour long. I'll put in the description of the video. If I forget, which I might, just write a comment. I read all my comments, as you know, so I'll be reminded and then I'll link it in the description. But yeah, you've been warned. It's, as you may imagine, it's extremely violent, it's racist and bigoted.
Now, you were in the laundromat at the time of the shooting. Did you hear the shots?
Yes, sir. I heard the shots and footsteps when he ran back across the building and saw Mr. Rockwell fall out of his car on the passenger side of the street. And two shots been fired through the windshield, and we went out almost immediately, and he was dead almost immediately.
3 years later, Rockwell was assassinated, shot by his former colleague. Now, was that a good thing? I'd much rather live in a world where these kinds of murders don't happen. But as John Lindsay, New York City's mayor at the time, said about the murder, violence breeds violence. I've been meaning to make a long-form video on political violence, but I've also been meaning to make a video on fascism, and I've been wanting to do that for months. So I'll make this short. Americans, from Trump's assassination attempt to later completely unrelated news, have used the term political violence to simply talk about overt interpersonal violence which have political aims. But what if someone who has the influence that Rockwell had used that influence to, for example, call for running queer people out of this country? Or what if they spread the Great Replacement theory, trying to make white people fear that they'll become a minority, turning them against people of color? Or what if they say that Muslims want to import values into the West that seek to destabilize our civilization? What if he advocated to force women who have been raped to stay pregnant? Those are all incredibly violent positions which by themselves don't have that many pieces, but skewed from fascists are, if they are to take a consequentialist approach.
Man, what is it? This is like chaos comedy or some shit.
He's like, I'm sitting in my parents' $350,000 house on like a rare species hardwood floor on the Amazon. And let me tell you that how these incredible fascists have destroyed this country with believing things that are actually true, and I just like, how dare they talk about facts and things that actually happened, and that people were already prejudiced against white people 65 years ago. That's not true. Oh my God, dude. It's like this is like literally like proving Nietzsche's like eternal recurrence. Like, it's just like the same shit, different decade. It's like he's like, yeah, man. He's like Talcott. He's like, yeah, man. Like, we need to stop all this violence. But by the way, violence is really effective, but we need to stop.
End all wars now. What? But
he's like the only way to truly end war is to like go to war. Right?
What is with the hair though over here? What is going on?
It's that's how he gets all the ladies. When you go to the communist commune. But some of those ladies may or may not have a dick. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, we can neither confirm nor deny.
Just bring a mask.
Hey, 2025. Anybody can get with anybody. What are you talking about?
or anything for that matter. You know, we're not going to discriminate on horse or dog action or anything like that. Okay, because that would be literally fascist, and you would have to, you know.
What? Leave the animals out of it, please. Damn it. No, not the animals. How do you document consent? That's just.
Well, don't worry. We're going to give them all brain chips, so then they can bark in their own language, and we can translate it. There you go.
No. Oh wow. Okay, let's hear what Mr. Muppet's got to say.
Right.
Much more violent than the death of a single man. Some may point to the irony that George Lincoln Rockwell, who advocated for white Americans to get armed to protect themselves against communists, black people, and Jews, was shot to death. But I much prefer the analysis of Mayor John Lindsay when he said, "If violence breeds violence."
Look, can you pause that for 1 second? So wait a second. He's basically telling people like, hey, these three groups of people really want you dead, so you should be armed to protect yourself from it. Therefore, violent extremist who needs to be shot and killed. I don't know.
Kill him. How dare
Off with the head. I'm a little German.
You can always put him in jail for a mean tweet.
No. That would be too nice. See, that would be merciful, and we don't have mercy on these bigots.
Resources. Yeah, no need to.
We all need freedom of speech unless it's inconvenient and hurts my feelings, and therefore, bullet. Yeah, so obviously.
Well, unless it's violent, Nero, haven't you been listening? These are all violent things, like speaking about.
No. That's the thing is like literally facts are violence. Didn't you know that? I mean, hello. This is 2025.
Yeah, violence is speech.
Violent without ever breaking the law. And because this video is about Margaret's picture, of course, I also like that this image is what George Lincoln Rockwell will be best remembered by. A photo of him in a black crowd, cosplaying as a Nazi 16 years after their defeat, looking extremely uncomfortable and out of place, with his arms crossed. Would I rather live in a world with less murder? Of course. Would I rather live in a world with less Nazis on it? Of course. I think it's possible to, without rejoicing his death, not mourn it either. Let me know what you think of the assassination of the founder of the American Nazi Party, George Lincoln Rockwell, in the comments. As always, I read all of them.
As always, let everybody into your country, and you don't own your body. So if somebody wants to R&B you, then just let them do it. Sounds good. You guys really done?
All right. Hold up. Let me stop sharing the screen.
How dare you?
Any comment? What do y'all think? Chat and Nero.
I mean, I support all the things. Whatever the current flavor this week is, I'll go ahead and support it.
All right. So what? He tried to cash grab on Charlie Kirk's assassination without talking really about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, well, basically he's saying that it was justified, more or less. He's like, well, I don't want to shoot Nazis, but, sometimes you got to do it.
They die, that's a good thing.
If somebody else does it, like, I don't want to personally do it, but, if somebody else wants to, then that's just great. Yes, Mr. Muppet is a wise sage that we all need to appreciate very much. Okay.
Everybody go and follow that channel right now. Buy every product he's selling, all the sponsors.
Make sure you go to his cult and cult meeting, and if he wants to bend you over, then you just got to take it because that's communism. Okay.
That's communism in a nutshell. So.
Like, you're literally a fascist if you don't let him put his P in your B, okay? Come on. Or if he's removed the P and turned it into another P, then you have to give him what he wants, or you're also a fascist. I mean,
Oh my god.
we don't assume genders or genitalias. Okay.
Yeah, for all you know, it could just be like a Barbie doll down there. Who the fuck knows?
That's right. That's right. And hopefully, uh, communist God willing, then we'll all be like that in the future. So.
Eternal hermaphrodite androids.
That's a really good channel name right there, like Eternal Hermaphrodite. There you go. And Doc a shame to Mr. DK Spiracy down there, he helping a brother, helping a bigoted white brother out. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
What up, DK?
When I die, make sure you donate to all the communist charities out there. Especially if they're black or Jewish, then I'll definitely be very pleased.
That's right, Nero. Nothing for your children or wife.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I hope that the communists, go and, put them in re-education camp because I've obviously, painted them with my whiteness.
Paint them with your racist ideology.
Yeah, or it's really just racist blood at the end of the day. It's like, no matter what I do, it's just in my blood. So, I'll be paying, we'll all be paying for that for generations to come, for sure.
I could say it's not your fault you're white, but then I would be lying.
Exactly. It's my fault, even if it's not my fault, right? How you're born doesn't dictate who you are unless you're white, and then it does.
You're a white person.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for quoting it correctly the way that the evil Jared Taylor would like us to. And I'll have you know that I'm on a nice beach by the ocean, and that there's a beautiful transgender person doing yoga on their towel. And we should all be so happy and to celebrate such a life this way.
Let's all celebrate trans joy.
That's right. See, thank you, InfoWars. That's right. It'll never stop. This way, buddy. Yeah, I'm telling all the people on the beach that this way to end racism. So. That's right, because racism is human. See.
I am sharing the screen, so let me.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. Yes. Yeah. Now we're going to hear from another evil racist named Temple. Even though he's married to a Filipino midget who's pregnant, he's obviously a neo-Nazi racist person. So let's continue.
On Saturday, another story. Auburn veterinary professor hacked to death by fiend while walking her dog in the park. This woman went to the park to walk her dog when a man allegedly stabbed her to death, and for seemingly no reason. The worrying thing is that these stories happen quite a bit. In 2022, the number was 542,000 black on white crimes and 96,000 white on black crimes. I normally don't care to pull these stats up. I gotta be honest. The Will Cain show pulled them up. I don't really care because I'm like, listen, people shouldn't be allowed to be violent. I don't care about your race. The cops should arrest them, and we should have a right to defend ourselves. And if I don't know if it matters for me as an individual walking down the street, the race of the individual who's coming to cause harm to me. What matters in that moment is, can I protect myself and defend myself? In Democrat-run cities, the answer is no. Mm-hmm. If I call the police, are they going to help me? In Democrat-run cities, the answer is no. Certainly, there is a sociological element where we can say there's an interesting phenomenon where black on white crime is 462% higher than white on black crime. Certainly, that's not going to protect people in the immediate, short term. Mm-hmm. These stories are happening, and they're picking up steam. And the Irina Zarutska story is going viral, and this story is now starting to go viral because people are tired of, one, being lied to by the left about police brutality, and I'll tell you this personally, Chicago is tired of 100 years of Democrat supermajority with nothing being done about the crime. Nothing. And so when Trump says National Guard, now he said Chicago's going to learn why we call it the Department of War. Okay, I get it. It's not very delicate, Trump. But I don't care. I say Trump, send in the troops. And I got these liberals tweeting like, you really want National Guard on your trains? Yes. Yeah. It's wild. I tweeted, if there was one National Guard member on that train, this wouldn't have happened. And I get these liberals being like, and now you want National Guard members on trains? And I'm just sitting here thinking like, I've been on the train with the National Guard before. I have been in cities during riots where National Guard was deployed, and they're on the trains. And you know what happens? It's gonna terrify you. I say, howdy, and they go, how's it going? And then I get off the train. What do they think is going to happen? I'm going to get a cheeseburger. I know it's bothering me.
If I can't carry my gun on the train, I would like a National Guard member with a rifle, loaded, please, on the train.
I got to push back on that one. I don't like the government telling me I can't carry my weapon and then sending in troops with guns. That's how they get you.
Sure.
However, that being said, this is a jurisdictional issue where Chicago causes problems for gun owners, and Trump, the federal government, says we're going to put a stop to what they're doing. In fact, the Supreme Court, the federal level, made it. It was 2010 McDonald v. Chicago, where the Supreme Court was like, you can't stop people from carrying weapons outside their house in Illinois. And they were pissed. And they put up a bunch of signs all over all the city buildings with big, like, no gun with a line through it. Like, you can't do it. Well, Supreme Court, the federal government came to protect us from the tyranny of the Democrats in Chicago. Right now, they're stopping us from defending ourselves. So in this capacity, I say, send in the National Guard.
Yeah.
Armed or otherwise, I literally don't care. I would rather be on a train with 50 National Guard doing jumping jacks and hoorahing or whatever than one gangbanger.
I think it would be better if not. Look, I know that Chicago's got problems. There are plenty of cities that have problems. It might be a better idea for the Trump administration to send the National Guard into blue cities in red states. He'll get less pushback from the governments. From the governors. He'll see, real tangible results, and then you can blame the Democrats for why there are blue cities in red states that have less crime than the blue cities in the blue states.
But they're not really. That's the problem. Red states, their cities are slightly smaller, and when they do have bad
Can you
crime,
pause for a moment? So I just want to mention one thing. So I made a rare appearance on Facebook recently to go, see if I got any messages, which I didn't. And because, everybody's like over 80 years old who's on Facebook. And but I found that one of the people that I went to high school with, who's the same age as me, was on there. And he started posting again after like years of not posting. And he started saying all this stuff about how, like, if the Nazis agree with you, then maybe you're on the wrong side of history and all these things. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. Thankfully, he's found the truth. And apparently he divorced his wife, who was like a, very strange-looking, perhaps a woman or transgender person, I'm not sure. But now he's in a throuple with two other guys. And, yeah. Yeah, and I was pretty good friends with this guy. I used to hang out at his house and stuff, and I had no idea that this was within him, and at all, like literally at all. Like I think, but what I did know about him at the time was he was a gamer, right? And I didn't realize how important that was to him, but apparently that was a pretty big part of his life. Now that I think about it, and but because he always said he wanted to be in the Air Force and go be a firefighter, and apparently he did both of those things. And but now he's a activist. But I'm just saying that to say this is like, so what's interesting about Tim Pool is like, well, if our military is full of these type of people and we put them on the street, isn't that an interesting situation? I don't know. Because I don't know if you guys have met people in the military, but not necessarily the most like pro-American people are always in the military. I don't know if people knew that or not. But.
Yeah, and then especially down here in the South.
Yeah, like most people I've met in the military are literally there for like a paycheck and like a pension. And I'm not saying that there's no like gung-ho people in the military, but I'm pretty sure that they've slowly weeded out the most hardcore pro-American people over time. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's still some in there, but I don't know. I just think it's an interesting situation. It's like,
a lot of the honest people die at the front lines, if you notice.
yeah, in training accidents too.
Interesting.
But I'm sure that's just, you know, a coincidence. I'm sure.
Of course. We're not
Yeah, exactly.
conspiracy theories on this channel.
Oh no, we're not. We're just pretending to be that guy. We're definitely not promoting it. You know, we're just joking around.
That's right. Entertainment purposes only.
Chicago, look, shout out to Baltimore. Baltimore's bad. But Chicago is, in terms of crime, in my opinion, Chicago is the capital of the country. I'll tell you why. It's not the highest murder rate per capita. I think it might have the overall highest murder rate in general. But the issue with Chicago is the institutionalized criminal activities, the corrupt politicians.
It's been that way since the
forever. I'm like, bro, it's been 100 years.
Prohibition.
100 years of Democrat rule, and Al Capone, that was the crime area. It never stopped. There's been gangs and gangbangers and crime in Chicago forever. So it's not just murder, it's organized crime. You've got the cops operating black sites and torturing people. It is miserable. Trump, just send in the feds, take it over, shut it down. All right? They are not abiding by the Constitution and protecting the rights of the American citizens who live there. And as someone who was from there, I wish I didn't have to leave. I like Chicago. But I always tell people it sucks. And it sucks that I have to say that. I think Chicago's got the best food. Best food.
That's how I feel about New York. You know, I had to leave New York because of how crazy it was when we were living in Brooklyn and going to Manhattan a bunch and getting threatened on the trains all the time. I got to say, though, I think this problem is beyond even the National Guard. I think there's so much nihilism in these criminals and mental illness. I don't even think seeing a guard is going to stop a lot of them. They might be taken down immediately, but like in terms of NYC, Hochul put the National Guard in the subways, and you can go look up how many insane things have happened in the past 10 years.
When she did that, where the Democrats are all pissed off now, but she did it. Come on, and good, do it.
Right.
So I'll tell you this: if in Chicago, I can only speak for my neighborhood, and I know, you know, I'm telling Shane this. You guys already know this. So I talked about it this morning. My neighborhood, we had 47th Street. North of 47th was all black. It's called the LeClaire Courts. It's been demolished by the Democrats. They just flattened it, along with, you know, they just saw all the other black neighborhoods and project housing. Black teenagers, men and women, boys and girls, would come across south into the predominantly white and Hispanic neighborhood where I lived and just mug you. This flash mugging. 5 guys surround you, frisk you, and take everything and then break, and they're gone. Everything you have is gone. Cops wouldn't do anything about it because they were like, if we were to come here every time, we'd be arresting so many black people, they'd call us racist. So we won't do anything about it. You take 2 unarmed National Guard, you put them in the park, it stops immediately. These, like, I guarantee it.
And so I grew up like 10 minutes from Newburgh, New York, and it's one of the most dangerous cities around. I think maybe top 50. It's really bad. And the feds came in after it was declared to be one of the most dangerous cities. And it didn't really change anything. They had the feds around. They had the things that Baltimore has, the things that go off of they hear a gunshot and they alert the feds, and it's still just not great. There's parts that are great, but the city is still a mess, and because I think it's so deeply in the DNA of the city that the violence won't go away.
I think the problem we have right now is that we have to request National Guard to deal with the crime.
And the left not policing their own cities sets the legal foundation for Trump to do this. So all Trump has to do legally, there's a lot of different authorities that the president can use, but if the president says that because of the conditions in Chicago or whatever, I am unable to fully enforce federal law, then that's the predicate. That's the only predicate he needs. He can send in the National Guard to facilitate allowing federal agents within the city to be able to enforce federal law within the city. The predicate would not exist if these dim governors and dim mayors would simply just make their city safe.
Is it a sustained occupation of the cities for the National Guard? Because like once you pull out, if it does help, which hopefully it would, once they leave, does it just go right back to where it was?
So it's different. Yeah. I mean, perhaps, but I do think that politically it's important to point out that these cities can be safer. It is an actual decision to make these cities unsafe. It's not that just crime is existing. It's that they're actually deciding to allow it to happen.
I saw Giuliani do it. The city where I was living.
Bukele demonstrated that crime is completely optional. And like, if you're a citizen of Chicago,
the message you're receiving from the government is your life is expendable and we hate you, because you're just saying, okay, can I have a firearm to protect myself from crime? No. Can I have the National Guard here to protect me from crime? No. And it's like, so the message is, we are conducting an experiment here. Your life is expendable, and it's simply a cost of enacting this experiment. That's what the government is telling their people.
I've been hearing that from the government my whole life.
Yeah.
No matter what. At every possible angle, there is a war on all of us.
And the crazy thing is, we have a condition here where the left is doing this on purpose. And then when the president uses actual legal statutory power, constitutional and statutory power, to try to alleviate and fix this for citizens in their own communities, the left then says that we're fascists. Mm-hmm. Is it like, well, you know, so
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just enforce the law.
Yeah, they're able to call him the thing they've been calling him forever. Now they have proof, quote unquote.
Two sides of the same coin. It's like on one side, it's like we want to use force. The other side's like, well, I don't want to personally use force. But you know, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like a very interesting. Also, it's interesting. Tim Pool's from Chicago. Kanye West is from Chicago. Nick Fuentes is from Chicago. Obama's from Chicago. It's almost like,
Pope is from Chicago. Do you know?
Who?
The Pope of the Vatican.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Actually, I forgot about that. And then also Oprah, of course. Who could forget the beautiful Oprah?
And Eminem, right? No, Detroit.
No, he's from Detroit. Rahm Emanuel, my best friend.
For all we know, they're all grown in a lab.
They probably are GMO commentators.
But then again, what are cities?
GMO.
Oh, but a lab, like a kind
That's right.
of.
We need to go back to the caves. I need to get back to my roots, guys. I'm gonna give up the English language. I'm gonna be grunting, cave painting with my own poop.
We didn't have to rely on federal National Guard deployments to deal with crime, and that Democrats actually bothered to deal with the root of what's causing the crime instead of lying and playing politics to cover it up. I think we talked about just a moment ago with the narrative on racism from the left, and not talking about the cultural issues affecting the Black community in our major cities. That's not the only source of crime, but it is a large factor in it. And instead, the Democrats play this game where they want to keep a voter base entrenched and locked in with the Democratic Party, so they never solve the problem. So they have a permanent issue. Now, get me wrong. Republicans have been accused of this when I think it was 2012? I can't remember when Republicans had the ability to overturn Obamacare. Maybe 2014. I can't remember. We had on one of the Freedom Caucus guys who told us, leadership came to him and said, "You're the deciding vote on overturning Obamacare. Vote no, so we can keep the wedge issue, so we can keep yelling on TV about it." This is politics in America. They don't actually care to solve our problems.
I mean, look at James Fry. Just the other day, he told people when those two children were murdered in that church, right? He went out and said, "Don't pray. We don't need to pray." Yeah. Same dude who was kneeling at George Floyd's gold casket crying, putting on that whole performance. We just had Stelter on the screen. Same channel that was telling us it was mostly peaceful riots. It's a war on reality. It's a war on you. And I don't know how it stops. These people live in a completely different dimension.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8.
Oh, I will be. Hey, somebody put that down on my schedule. Somebody call my my assistant. Make sure that I'm scheduled to watch the temple. somebody call my agent. I want to try to get on there. Tell him how racist and fascist he is.
Okay, I got one more.
Okay, yeah, I sent you one, but you can play whatever you want. Okay. We can say the one I sent for last because it's from the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend.
Off something this fake.
Well, that's a handsome guy,
you have to
or girl, whichever he prefers to be called today.
It's fakery to traumatize the masses, and I'm gonna show you some things right here. With this
I like this accent. It sounds very culturally enriched. I like it.
Well, and I'm gonna break it down and show you that this never happened. There go the show that they're showing you right there.
Right near the beach. That's where the shooter from, man. I know it.
I'm gonna show you hoax at its best right here. Run it.
New details into out front about
Right after I smoke that bigger blunt by the beach, I know it's right over there.
name is Tyler James Robinson, and out front
The man in the woolly bird told me all about it.
face on this character right here because he's playing a role. Also, you have to understand, all of them is playing a role on the dumb masses. Listen and pay attention.
Just spoke to a man who worked with the 22-year-old as recently as 2 weeks ago. So two weeks.
And if you hear that, he's 22 years old. We'd already break it down for the Patreons and the peoples on the podcast and Spotify. We already break it down and show you that this is not real. But I'm just doing this video right here for the people to understand. And now we go touch into some areas that we didn't touch on. But pay attention with this suspect. Again, listen.
Go. The man you see on your screen was at work.
22 years
Two were both
old.
doing
Listen.
electrical work at what our source, who did not want to be identified, described as a big custom house in Santa Clara, Utah.
So that's bullshit again with CNN bringing you some kind of person that know this one that used to work with him, do electrical work, but he don't want himself to be known, but he want to tell the story. What a bullshit. Somebody listening and they know the person and they don't want to get involved. They just don't want to get involved. Not a little bit they want to get involved, but not too much enough to let them be known who it is. Pay attention to this fakery. Listen.
He says Robinson was, quote, a little abnormal, didn't talk to anyone.
Yes.
He was a quiet dude, and he didn't like being talking unless spoken to.
And what they're doing right here is building a character for your ass. That's all they do with the fake news. They're building a character, people. Building a character around this person. So you yourself can break it down and understand what was going on with this person so you can understand why he did what he did. Do you understand? So yes, he's one of them loner. He don't talk unless spoken to. Listen.
He stays in the back.
Stay in
and
the
I
back.
knew from word of mouth from coworkers that he was not fond of Trump or Charlie.
That is important right there, right? It's important for him to come out and say that he hear from even another coworker that he's not a fond of supposedly Donald Trump and the Charlie character. What a dumb shit for the masses. So people really discussing that around the job. This Charlie Kirk character. This is bullshit for TV. Listen.
Kirk, obviously. Now, you know, when you think about this, right, he's working on this job site 2 weeks ago.
Listen.
Robinson was a 4.0 student, honor roll kid.
Wow.
He received a prestigious scholarship to college. He had no criminal record.
And now people, they obtain all of these photos with him. I guess they invade his Instagram or one of them accounts that he have on social media. I don't know, but they have all these photos now that he's supposed to be suspect.
He is registered to vote, but not affiliated with a party. His parents are both registered Republicans.
Not affiliated with the party.
Right now, though, he is being held without bail on several charges, including aggravated murder. They say assassinating Charlie Kirk as a sniper. These are live pictures we're showing you right now of the Utah County Jail. That is where Robinson is as we speak. Now, according to sources, he is not cooperating. He is not speaking to investigators.
Right.
He was arrested overnight, though.
So listen, people, he's not cooperating with investigator, but he turned himself in. As you just missed the top, go back a little bit, pay attention. So you see, I told you whenever CNN come on, they never miss 501 right there on the time. That's the coding for the number 6. And look at the jail, people, that he's supposed to be in. Never seen on jail look like this before. Never. I just never seen on jail look like that. But that's the jail they have in him. All glass around the damn building. Pay attention.
Now, the Utah County Jail, that is where Robinson is as we speak. Now, according to sources, he is not cooperating. He is not speaking to investigators. He was arrested overnight, though, more than 250 miles away from Utah Valley University, where Kirk was shot as he spoke.
Now, look, people, take a look at this photo right here, this film that they're showing you with the Kirk character. Look at it, people. He's sitting down and all these people around him. It's really strange, people. Even this guy right here in this funny looking shirt. You see him? They have a guy right there in a white hat and a white shirt. And you have somebody else right almost in front of him, sideways. And he's supposed to be right there. So who is these people just standing around him? And I already told you people, I was trying to explain to somebody that yes, he was reaching for the mic, supposedly reaching for the mic, which is the damn detonator. A lot of people don't understand, but that's a detonator, the damn mic that he was reaching for, because you're having a conference, the mic's supposed to be in your hand and not putting down on the damn table. So look, people, he got the permit on his hand sign right there, like Donald Trump, by the way. But yes, he sit right there, he reached for the mic, which is the detonator to set it off to make it look like he was squirting blood from the neck. I'm just saying you right there. And what angle did the shooter shoot him from? Right here. The same angle that you're looking at with the camera. Okay, and he slumped backwards. I'm just explaining because they won't show it to you. But it's a 100% fake shit, people. Just an actor on the world stage. They pull him off the scene in the name of this shooting right here. It's not real. Pay attention and listen.
Crowd of students.
Look, people, you see? You reach over for the mic. You go in there in a conference and you put the mic down to reach for it. This is a setup for the dumb folks. 100% fake way for the peoples. No doubt about it.
We just
look,
new video of a person
look,
matching
people.
Robinson's description walking near Utah Valley University just moments before
And
the
look
shooting.
now, people. Moments before the shooting, now they can find footage. How do you know it's him? Wow, you have to put a round circle and a light around it, and we still can't see shit. How do you know that's him? How do you pick him up and we can't see shit? Just like the first footage that they were showing you with him on the roof, people. It's a hoax, a 100% hoax. Why did they do this? It's too easy to break down. It's too easy to spot. CNN, you can't help them with this damage control. You're showing him when and how did you know it's him? This is bullshit. We can't see nothing.
Appears to be new video of the
How do you
suspect
know it's
just
him?
before.
And what the fuck this sense would this make? What kind of sense would this make right here, people, for them to show you a picture with him from before? Not on the shooting. They never show him shooting. They only show him leaving the scene of the shooting. What a crap for the people right here to take in.
What later ensued was a massive manhunt, more than 33 hours that ended.
33 hours, right on the money, people. And if you check it, it's not no damn 33 hours, but that's just the coding they have to put in the fuckery. They have to throw that in the hoax, people. It's not real by a long shot. Finish listening.
Only after Robinson's family turned him in.
Listen, his family
the source
turned
tells
him in.
us that Robinson's father recognized his son after seeing these images, and it
There
was.
you go, people. The dad recognized him by seeing this right here. I don't know how they get this, because this is not at the shooting site. This is not where he did the shooting. But you automatically come up with this photo and say it's him. This is what proved that it's him, people. These photos that they show you. And by the way, that's the one the dad saw and recognized that his son is the one who shoot that Kirk character, right? And call in some supposedly, preacher or some kind of pastor man that convinced them to turn him in. Listen.
Images you could look at and realize if that was somebody you knew well or if that was your child, you would
Look
recognize.
at all these photos that they have of him now, people. Why they couldn't see him when he was doing the crime? This is bullshit for the public.
Well, his parents did. And when confronted by his father, Robinson confessed, according to another
see
source.
that? Wow.
But according to our John Miller's reporting.
Remember, people, why would he confess by those photos? The photos never show him shoot nobody. So imagine you, people, imagine you did something and somebody show you the photo that you're not on the scene. It's not showing you doing nothing. Even if they take a picture with you on the scene, people, it's not on the shoot, on the site where he was shooting supposedly. I'm just saying, people, you don't see him on the roof. The picture don't show him on the roof holding a gun. The picture never show him holding a gun. And you brought that to my attention. I'm going to confess right away. Wow, what a bullshit for the dumb masses. He pulled off that sophisticated shooting and actually gonna confess to his dad. Wow, what a joke for the masses. Those photos that they show can prove that nobody did no crime. So why you use those photos to confess? It's bullshit.
Robinson did not want to surrender, and he told his father, according to John.
He didn't want to surrender, people, but he confessed to his dad. Even though the dad don't have no damn evidence. They're only showing you that photo and say, yo, that's him do the shooting. It's not enough for you to confess. Okay, yes, I was there, but what? I don't hold a gun. I didn't shoot nobody. You understand what I'm saying here, people? Listen.
Reporting, quote, I would rather kill myself than turn myself in.
Wow, there you
now,
go.
Police say that one of Robinson's family members eventually reached out to a family friend, contacted the sheriff's office.
This is bullshit, people. So now another family member know about it now to reach out to a friend. Another one reach out to another family friend. What a bullshit for the public.
And according to court documents, Robinson's behavior leading up to the shooting had changed. They say, and I quote,
there you go again.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years.
They're the only one who talking, people. The Robinson character is not talking. So they're building the profile for him as far as he was alone and he acting funny leading up to the shooting. Listen.
And Utah's governor says the casings found with the rifle that's believed to have been used in the assassination included inscriptions like the word.
That, people, hold on. Before you say what's on it, he also engraved the bullets. That's something that we never talk about in the videos that I did before. They say he got writing on the gun and on the cartridges. And why would he leave the gun on the scene, people? Because he leave a message on it. The gun can give him away. But by the way, people, he engraved something on the bullet, just like the Luigi character that shoot that healthcare person. They claim. You remember that one? Okay, he engraved something on the bullet. How do you do that? You go get a special machine to engrave that kind of bullet? What kind of bullshit is they giving us, people? I told you the world's a stage. So now we have writing on the gun like the last transgender shooter. And by the way, this was a question that was asked before the Charlie Kirk got shot. They asked him about how he feel about transgender shooters now. Mass shooters being transgenders. And bam, he got shot right away before he answered the question. And that's what's written on the damn gun about transgender and shooters, mass shooters and transgender. Do you believe that, people? What a coincidence. You believe in that? That's a bam, people. It's a hoax.
Hey, fascist, catch. Now, in a moment, I'm going to speak to Utah's Attorney General Derek Brown about the evidence and the investigation. First, though, I want to go to Ed Lavandera because he's outside that jail I just briefly showed you in Spanish Fork, Utah.
They send him out there to the jail right away. He can't speak to nobody. He can't do shit but just standing out there to show that he at the jail. You see the trick, people? You see the trick on TV. All of it is fakery. He's not there. Newsflash. That's the only news you're going to get here. He's not there, people. It's fake shit for the public. And if you think that that supposedly suspect is in that place that they call a jail, you're in a world of hurt. It's fake shit. Listen and watch.
Robinson is right behind you tonight, Ed. And what is the latest that you're learning?
Well, he is here being held without bond. Two sources tell CNN that he did speak with investigators briefly when he was first taken into custody, but now we understand he is no longer speaking with investigators.
He was speaking when he just got in there, but he's no longer speaking. What was he saying when he was speaking? Is some question he was answering when he was speaking? This is bullshit. Listen.
As investigators are now focused on trying to piece together the motive for what might have inspired this deadly attack.
You pieced the motive already with all that shit.
We got him.
Bam. There you go right there, people. I'm done. I'm holding my head when I hear these people. No lie. Trust me. So they're running the breaking news and all that, and the fucking idiot come on and say we got him. What that show you, people, is TV. It's 100% TV. Who talk like that? Oh, we got him. Who? The man that give himself up. They turn themselves in, people. That's what they tell you. The family and him turn themselves in. And this guy go come and say, we got him. Listen to that right there, people. That's catch. We got him. That to show you that it's a TV production. A 100% fakery. You don't believe me? Listen.
The information that led investigators to Tyler Robinson came just after authorities released new videos and enhanced photos of the suspect fleeing the shooting scene.
He's fleeing the scene, people. Look at him. But remember, one thing you have to keep in mind, he came there with the gun. Look at what I'm saying here. Pay attention. He came there with the gun. Nobody detect him. He go up on a roof, set up shop, and shot the man and all that. So what happened? Now you're going to see him come off the scene. Show us how it is when he holding the gun. The same footage, people. The same way they can show you footage when him leaving the scene with no gun. You can show us with him come on the scene with the gun. And if he came on the scene with the gun, what would be the problem for him to leave the scene with the gun? Why take the gun off the roof and leave it somewhere in the bushes or something like that where they say they find the gun? This is bullcrap, people, all made up, and watch them fix up the damn agendas for the masses with this one story.
The 22-year-old was arrested at his home at 10 p.m. Thursday night.
You see, now he was arrested at his home. You say turn himself in, but now he was arrested at his home. I guess they're calling the police to come arrest him at his home. What a bullshit.
Is now in custody in the Utah County Jail, held on several charges, including aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. He could face the death penalty.
Obstruction of
the manhunt lasted 33 hours
you
and
see
started
that right on the money, people. They say it's 33 hours. Wow, what a joke, people. They pull off a TV kind of production right here with the Charlie Kirk death. It's a fakery, people. A 100% fakery. And like I say, they're going to have a lot of hard out of this chaos right here. Believe it or not. Watch the big step they're going to take over this supposedly fake assassination that they pull off.
Right after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed with a single supersonic bullet.
A supersonic bullet,
12:23
people.
p.m. Wednesday.
A supersonic bullet, people. A supersonic bullet. Wow, I guess you have to hype up the bullet. And look, people, even a tree right here that kind of block him off from the supposedly angle where the shooter shooting from. Look, all these people. Nobody gets shot, people. It's a hoax. It's a 100% hoax. And you have to pay attention to the people that are around him. All of them is a part of it, setting up this fake. Just like with the Donald Trump fake assassination attempt. I show you the suspects is the ones that's around him, the ones that making this shit look real. They are the only suspect, including the psyop operator that you see sit right there. They're fakers, 100%. To put on a show right here and look at the time when the shooting happened. You can't make it up, people. 12:23, 3:23. Do you believe that, people? All of it set up for a perfect hoax.
Investigators say this video shows
Look,
Robinson.
people, now you have a video. How did the video capture him after he gone? Why not show us when he was shooting, people? Who videoed this shit after he fired the shot? Somebody turn on their camera and watch him come down and he still leave the scene, people? Where would this camera come from all of a sudden? Why wasn't the recording when he was going up on the roof and set up shop with the gun? Come on, people, this is a hoax. Nobody shouldn't believe it, not even a baby. You hear me, people? There's no way they should pass this off as real and get away with it. No way.
Of a Utah Valley University campus building.
Of course.
Dropping to the ground.
Look, people,
and
jump from that far. Wow, people, the building is almost looking like almost 20 feet off the ground, people, and he just jump and land on his feet.
This guy's milking this video. I like it.
Oh, CGI for the people.
I said he's milking this video.
Well, I think that's enough of that. Let's watch the last one you had.
Yeah. Let's watch the last one. Yeah, I sent two, but let's watch the last one. It's his wife. I actually want to get a woman's take on this. Miss Erica Kirk. I want to see what you think of her lovely speech here.
Is the one before Charlie?
Yeah, the other one's Charlie talking, which I guess we can end with that one. Technically, we'll hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself. But I want to get a woman's take on this video a little bit. We don't have to watch all, just a few minutes. I think a few minutes is more than enough. And I'm going to do all my commentary in a Jamaican accent. What do you think? All right, over here we got the Erica. Wait, I can't do it. It's a terrible accent. Okay, let's see. Only right here we got the Erica Kirk over here with the Jam and Jams, man. She definitely like to listen to Bob Marley.
When does the speech actually begin?
I think you got to keep skipping forward. I don't know, 15 minutes in or something. I know there's like a long pause and then somewhere she starts talking. Yeah, right there. There you go.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my ability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. He loved what he did.
Come on, what the heck?
I want to thank
Who
the millions of
believes this?
people
Where's
who have
the
shown
tear?
their love for.
Where is the tear? I don't see a single freaking teardrop here. What is going on? Oh my God.
Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous.
Where's the
I wanna
tear?
thank President
Where's
Trump
the tear? Where's your voice cracking for? This is just acting. What is this? Actor interpretation of the speech or what?
His incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you.
Oh my God, that's weird.
And he knew that you loved him too.
Come on.
Your friendship was
Please
amazing.
stop it. No, I can't. I
You
can't
supported
do
him
it.
so well.
What is this? What is this shit? Why are you making me watch this? This is MK Ultra. I classify this like not allowed. Well, you're on mute, so I'm gonna go to the next video.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't zoom out enough to hit the unmute button. But well, I think that only took 3 minutes and 33 seconds for you to deem it MK Ultra. So I think that's a record right there.
Sure, I'll keep believing that.
No, but like I literally only watched about 33 seconds of that, and I was like, I just can't. Like I had the same reaction. I was like, if this is real, I don't want to distastefully respond, I guess.
There's not even a single tear anyway. Here we go.
Breaking news of this new footage we have of the stabbing murder of the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska, a young white lady who was stabbed to death by a black criminal, by a complete stranger on a train in Charlotte. Now, you might have not seen this footage yet. This is becoming national news, and the left is doing everything they possibly can not to talk about it. The media is very uncomfortable about this story. If you watch this video, this guy was sitting minding his own. She was minding her own business. He was minding her own business. She was also dressed in like baggy clothes, comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death. 14 times he was previously arrested. 14 times. 14 times. He comes up and just stabs her to death. Situations like this are a nearly daily occurrence in our cities. And I'm coming back from two nations, Japan and South Korea, that are poorer than us, that are not as populous as us, and their cities are not just safer, they are different planetary realities. As if I went to Saturn and we live on Mars. We do not have to live this way. You can create a society and a culture where you can get on a train or a subway and not be Irina Zarutska and get stabbed to death in the neck because some black criminal decides, I'm just going to go do it. 14 times he was previously arrested. And all of the Koch brother funded liberal criminal justice BS is the reason why guys like him are still on the streets. 14 times. Let's put this back up on screen. And Irina Zarutska, why did she come to America? She was fleeing violence in Ukraine. It turns out it's more dangerous on subways in Charlotte, North Carolina than a war zone in Ukraine. The Associated Press wrote 0 stories about this over the weekend. PBS, New York Times, NPR, Wall Street Journal, BBC, CNN, Washington Post, Reuters, MSNBC, 0 stories. Now they're finally fixing that, but the stories they're writing, like this repulsive headline from Axios this morning, the gruesome attack of the fatal knife attack in Irina Zarutska on a light car rail in Charlotte has MAGA influencers seeking to elevate the issue of violent urban crime. Oh, this is all about MAGA influencers now? Oh, it's not about the fact that a white Ukrainian refugee was murdered just because she was white. Everybody knows that, obviously. Stabbed to death. And by the way, the other sick part, which has now become the new urban way, everyone just kind of sat around and didn't administer first aid for 90 seconds. Just glued to their phones. We don't have to live this way. She survived a war but couldn't survive progressive criminal justice reform. We should be more like Seoul in Tokyo. The focus of our leaders trying to say, well, we need criminal justice reform. We need more people in jail. We do not have enough people in prison in America. We do not have enough people in jail. We don't have enough people that are arrested on the side of the streets. That is a constant theme of this program. President Trump makes healthcare affordable again. His 2017 Joining us now is Megan Basham, author of Shepherds for Sale and Daily Wire culture reporter. Megan, I'm so glad to have you on here. You live in Charlotte, where the killing of Irina Zarutska occurred, who was an incredible person, a Ukrainian refugee, comes to America and was murdered in cold blood for no reason, a senseless killing. If a random white person simply walked up to and stabbed a nice, law-abiding black person for no reason, it would be an apocalyptically huge national story used to impose national sweeping political changes on the whole country. Instead, Megan Basham, no one seems to care when a white woman gets stabbed to her death. Why is that?
Yeah, that was pretty shocking to go, for 2 weeks now, none of our major media outlets have covered her at all, not one word. They finally started to cover her a little bit this morning, but only because of the massive public shaming, because this video was so very shocking. And what I really want to emphasize here, Charlie, is that this is not a dangerous part of town where Zarutska was killed. It's a very lovely, popular part of town, bustling restaurants, trendy restaurants, boutiques. My family and I go there frequently on the weekend. So this was an area where you will see families on the weekend. She's a young woman, 23 years old, a refugee, getting off work at a pizzeria and gets onto that light rail. So, the initial reaction of our Democrat mayor was appalling. She said that she didn't mention Irina Zarutska at all in her initial statement. Instead, what she called for was compassion for the perpetrator, who she said is suffering from mental illness just like cancer or heart disease. So we're supposed to have empathy for him as some sort of victim. And she said that we cannot arrest our way to safety, which is, of course, ridiculous. Yes, we can. If we put people behind bars when they're a public threat, we can have safe public streets. But, just to go a little bit more into the weeds on this, I want to let you know that our current governor, who was then Attorney General, his response has also been appalling. So back in 2020, within 2 weeks of George Floyd's murder, he had not only issued public lament. Well, I think at this point we can say it was not a murder, but he issued public lament over George Floyd's death, and instituted a new task force for racial equity in criminal justice system. So he initiated an entire task force for George Floyd's death, but it took him longer to acknowledge Irina Zarutska's death. It took him 2 more days than it did to acknowledge George Floyd, even though this happened in his own state where he is governor. So if you look back at what that task force that he implemented in 2020 did, they specifically called for more lenient pre-release policies, meaning they wanted low bail or no bail for minority offenders. They also called for decriminalizing homelessness and quote unquote public behavior, meaning being a public menace on the streets. So these were the very policies that allowed this perpetrator, DeCarlos Brown, to be on the streets. He did in fact receive pre-trial release back in January on his most recent arrest, because he's been arrested 14 times before, including for grand larceny and breaking and entering and assault with a deadly weapon. And almost every time he has been released and given fines and community service and probation. He has not been behind bars where he belongs. And so these were the direct policies that came out of that racial equity task force.
I have so many questions here. So let me just ask a micro question. Has this been talked a lot about in local communities in Charlotte, North Carolina? Are people understanding the racial element here, that a random black guy murdered a white woman? Is it shocking the community? Walk us through what's happening locally here, because I would imagine it should be.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, one of the things you're hearing is that this was a light rail that we all felt perfectly safe using just a few years ago, and we don't feel that way anymore. Because of these policies, you are suddenly seeing an increase in homelessness in the Charlotte area. You know, we came here in 2016, and when we first got here, you really didn't see panhandlers, public disturbances on the street. You see that now when you go into our uptown metro areas. And so I think so many people are feeling that. And when you look at the increasing rates of crime in Charlotte, you can trace it back to 2020. So our last homicide high was in 2020 when the Black Lives Matter riots were occurring on our streets. And the second high of homicide rates in Charlotte were now 2024. So we don't have it for 2025 yet. But for 2024, when they were up 25% from the year before, when these racial equity policies started taking effect. So yes, I think people are very much waking up to the fact that, you know, all of these sort of Black Lives Matter, DEI pushed policies are having a direct impact on our safety, because the argument was, for the sake of racial equity, we need to not, the government exists to terrorize the unrighteous and the wicked, not to ensure that the innocent can be terrorized. And that's exactly what's happened in this situation.
So Megan, you wrote this amazing book, Shepherds for Sale, all about how our pastors are selling themselves out to the highest bidder. On this racial issue, though, I know you've mentioned it. It's so frustrating because, again, we have a catalog of the current kind of Christian ruling class of what they did. Carl Lentz, who's obviously been disgraced. George Floyd should be alive. It's not acceptable to kill him, blah, blah, blah. Stephen Furtick. This is what Stephen Furtick said. He said, quote, he said, if you only post a simple prayer emoji and scroll on, we need to challenge the system and sickness that created and enabled the death of George Floyd. I am part of the problem, is what Stephen Furtick said. I mean, I could go through the list of just the nauseating Christian leaders, and I just, what is it getting better, and how do we call out this?
I think that's all I can watch of that. Sorry.
Why? Because you're offended? You're offended? I'm just kidding.
Because I'm a racist.
No, but do you see the Nazism of this person?
Yeah, total Nazi, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that he's a raging me, Mr. Mustache infatuator.
And so everybody that sympathizes with him must be gone as well.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to tell you that or send you to re-education camp for you to get it. Very good. You've passed your test so far.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes. And this has been Re-Education Volume 3 with Annapurna and evil white person named Neurojack. I know you probably have to go somewhere and do some.
I'm actually sewing, so if I keep sharing any audio,
No,
y'all will.
perfect. No, this is good. Let's just stop it here because it's a good hour and a half ish, and so
All right.
yes. But
Final
thank you.
comments, final
Yeah,
thoughts.
and everything will be recorded. If anybody disagrees with Charlie Kirk was a mean Mr. Mustache loving person, obviously, and you will be sent to re-education camps once the communist revolution has been completed. So, I mean, happy, fun camps for adults, of course.
Make sure y'all
Well,
behave.
right. There'll be kibbutzes. There'll be lawn chairs. There'll be orgies that are enforced at the point of a gun, of course. But it's only out of love, that because you don't own your own body, of course. So it'll be awesome.
Yeah, no body shaming allowed.
That's right. No body shaming. If the 565-pound person of Jewish descent demands that you share your body, then of course it's. I mean, that's just part of the.
Who are you to judge?
Yeah.
That's your duty. That's your patriotic duty.
That's right. We don't believe in rights. We believe in duties, just like Jim Bob and Andrew Wilson. But yes, thank you guys. We love you in a communist way, definitely not in a Christian way, of course. And we love you the same as we love a dog or an ant or a rock on the beach. Okay.
And the universe is indifferent.
That's right.
Doesn't you live
You're
or
not
die.
you're not special or anything, but you are as long as you're gay and trans and all that stuff. So just go be gay and trans, and you'll be and non-white, and you'll be fine. And non-Brahmin, of course. We can't have any Brahmins. You got the Untouchables are good. The Brahmins are bad. We all know that.
Yep. Love and light. Love and light.
Yes. Love and light of Satan, of course. All right. I'm just kidding. If anybody's watching this, that this has been for entertainment purposes, of course, but I'm totally dead serious about the communist stuff. But but not really, of course. But All right, bye, everybody.
Adios.